Okay, I'm now seeing that big REC red button up at the top of the screen, at least in my go-to meeting. So I welcome everyone to the Commission on Aging meeting for February 17th, 2021. Thanks for all being here. Just so you know, Allie could not join us today. She's in the middle of a vaccination program, big time. And so she's asked Beth to present her report. I hope Beth has it. And thank you, Beth. And we'll move forward. First issue on our agenda is our discussion of our January minutes. Does anybody have any changes to those minutes?
I actually do. I was in attendance and I'm not listed, I don't think so.
Thank you so much to let us know that, if we could have that amendment. Any other amendments to the January minutes? Seeing and hearing none, I ask for a motion to approve the minutes as amended. I have a motion. Thank you, Mary. Second? Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Francis. Appreciate it. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Thank you for that. We'll turn it over to Beth for the Mather Center report.
Okay. We are still doing the vaccine clinics here on Tuesdays. It's a 7-hour stretch, and it's actually wonderful to see all the people we see. I think yesterday I probably gave about 25 newsletters out for people who had never been in the building before, which is always kind of cool in a sense. And also talked to a couple of people who are volunteers that are on the Board of Finance. So I got some questions and another good opportunity though. So we're still doing that and not doing lunches on Tuesday until we are requested not to be the second site, which may happen mid-March. Our virtual programming has continued to increase in terms of attendance and also in terms of us doing the programming ourselves. We're developing more and more activities and programs that can be done online virtually, and we're still connected to the 14 senior centers. So there's ample amounts of things to do for the folks that have chosen to be connected. We also did this month for Valentine's Day. I know Gina's on at home, got Valentine's from a Girl Scout troop at Homes. So we distributed those, which were very well received. People loved getting them. And also with Youth Commission, we did a Happy Hearts lunch where middle schoolers had made actual wreaths, not two were alike, that were in the shape of hearts, that we gave out with the lunch that we celebrated Chinese New Year and Valentine's Day. So we had a Chinese lunch with a lava chocolate cake for dessert. So we kind of did a little smorgasbord there. The Fairfield University Matter of Balance program is 25 people are doing that 9-week course online. So that's kind of really awesome because it's a great program, and that's the rest. And Stacy Johnson, our program specialist, is working on making a connection with Sacred Heart University, especially for when we open with their OT department to do some activities, again, for strengthening and keeping people from falling. So it's kind of cool. We have those two universities that are connected with us. I'm connected with them for the BSW program, and we're going to get an intern probably in the spring to help us, even if we're not totally in-house yet. And we are planning for the spring and summer. We have several entertainments already planned for outside, some programming that we're going to do outside, and then hopefully we'll be able to use like even the cafe extension incrementally by that time. It all depends on how this vaccine rolls out and then what gets kind of messaged down that of what we can do with the senior center. We know that if we get to open even in-house at all, it still will be with protocols in place, distancing, mask wearing, hand sanitizing. That's going to be for quite a while until the general population is all set. I will tell you firsthand, I know what Allie's going through, that vaccine clinic is even bigger than the one that's down here. So they're working very hard to message that it's anyone over 65 is now eligible for the shot. And we are doing, again, Darien residents only because of the allocation of our supply. If we could get more, we would be doing more, but we feel that with what we have, we want to serve our residents. as quickly and as efficiently as we possibly can. So for the time being, we're back to Darien residents only. She's continuing to take, oh, I should have stopped, Joe, because this is her report. I just went right into her report because I have the 2 pages together. So anything for my report first. Sorry.
Okay, no questions for Beth on her report, I'm seeing. So Beth, you can now move on into Allie's report or continue the same.
You know, I'm going to tell you, it's because we are so working as a team at this. And I have to say it from David Knopf to obviously Allie and the whole public health team and post 53, the posties are doing most of the volunteer shooting. It's an incredible thing to be a part of. And the teamwork in this town, everybody should be really, really proud of how people come together and just want to help and want to make things as welcoming and wonderful as they can, even under these circumstances. So that's why I went right into that report, because as far as it goes, we're all connected at this point for sure. She wants you to know that Operation Fuel is still open. So if people want to apply, you're still eligible and you can still apply. And also for energy assistance too. On the webpage are all of the eligibility and asset limits. And also she really wanted to emphasize the emergency call list. This list is not only for when there's storms or issues in town, but it's also for things like this pandemic. We're working out a system right now for seniors who are homebound to get the shot at home for those who can't come out. The bigger that list is, the more people we know about, the better. The list has grown now to 100 people since the emergency call list was emanated, and they're all active people that need some sort of connection. And we're giving better information this way. So don't think about it only as a storm issue or related to utilities. It's also related to this kind of thing. If this happens, it's so important that we know, so that if we have to do outreach, we know there's people that need the outreach sooner than later. So please take that very seriously. And even if you feel like, you have it all under control, there's a time that you're not going to. And if family isn't close, I really want to give this message. If they're not in the next town and you're here, it's really important just for your safety to be on that list. So, you also, whenever you're called and you're checked on, you're A-okay, give the thumbs up and we move on. But please don't hesitate to put yourself on that, especially in these times that people are really vulnerable. And you definitely call Human Services for that, the general number, which is 203-656-7328, and they'd be happy to put you on. That's Allie's report too.
We won't make you answer questions about Allie's report, Beth, but thank you so much. I could just report briefly on what Annie saw. My spouse Annie took our former nanny Julie over to town hall in the gym to get our nanny her vaccine, and it was remarkable. She basically said it was so smooth. It was very easy to get done, and secondarily, she immediately got another appointment for the next shot. And in contrast, my father-in-law in Massachusetts had to go to, believe it or not, the Patriots Stadium, Gillette Stadium, okay, in a long line, and that was just for his first dose. And he can go to the one thing Massachusetts has done is that they have allowed caregivers or people who bring someone with them to get the shot, and that's something that would be neat for Connecticut to do for no other reason than, obviously Annie and I will wait for our shots. That's not the issue. The issue is that there are other people out there who are caring for seniors who will be nice to knock off 2 birds with 1 stone like Massachusetts is doing if we have the vaccines. Obviously, that's a huge question. But nevertheless, for what we're doing here in Darien, compared with what Annie saw with her dad, it's remarkable, and it's fantastic what our team is doing with the vaccines, and quite frankly, how easy it is for our seniors to be able to get these vaccines. And now that it's 65 plus, you know, we're moving that much faster to get the folks the vaccines they need.
Well, and again, I can attest to the process because Kathy and I got our first shot and we're getting our next shot next week. I don't know if you saw, I wrote a letter to the editor of the Darien Times. I want to make a point that, you know, this reflects the intergenerational nature of our community. And I'm hoping that all of those seniors that show up also realize that they can give back in the very same ways everybody in our town is giving to them. So it's not just thanks for the shot and thanks for processing me, but you know what? I can make a contribution too. It's been a great example, you know, painful that we went through this process, but a great example.
Agreed. Great. Perfect. So, Peter, you actually still have the floor because I'm going to turn it over to old business, and I know we've got lots of legislative stuff going on.
Yeah, we sure do, Joe. Governor Lamont has come out with the budget, and there are some items in there that are going to be impactful, very much so for seniors. One of our hot topics, of course, are cameras in nursing homes. There are two bills, two proposed bills now, and again, so important that we provide testimony. I'll just give you an example of that. The two bills, one is sponsored by Representative Cook in the 65th District, and his bill is entitled, "An Act Permitting the Use of Video Monitoring Devices at Skilled Nursing and Assisted Living Facilities." The second bill is Bill number 5062 by Representative Gibson in the 15th District, and his is entitled, "An Act Deterring Abuse in Nursing Homes." And again, you know, the important thing is those cameras are not intended to monitor abuse. Those cameras are intended to provide residents the same kind of communications devices we have in our own homes, okay? And these bills, as they go forward, are going to require, I think, testimony. And those of us interested should be following up. And everything is going to be by video. So you have an opportunity to do that. The governor has proposed additional bills that would affect some caps on prescription expenses. And again, I think that's important. It does not include an expansion of Medicaid at this point in time. But also, and Joe, this is one you can talk about, but there is a bill that's going to say protecting the assets of older residents and spouses, and that will require a legislative activity. And what it will do is it should certainly help those of us that are living at home and taking care of elders. You want to talk a little bit about that, Joe?
Sure, no problem. One of the issues that Connecticut seniors face of limited means is the fact that when they're trying to apply for Medicaid, there's a disconnect between the federal law and the Connecticut law. And the bills that are being proposed connect them back up so that if you match the federal requirements for obtaining Medicaid, including things relating to having home care, okay, you qualify for Connecticut Medicaid. So I'm not a Medicaid attorney. My practice deals much more with estate planning for, quite frankly, more wealthy folks. But at the end of the day, the reality is this bill is really important because so many of our seniors, especially who have spouses who are staying at home, we want to make sure we can protect assets for the community spouse, as well as make sure our seniors are entitled to the same benefits they would have in Connecticut as they would have in other states. And so these are important pieces of legislation. I thank goodness, Peter, from what you sent me. There are some good people testifying on this. I will not testify on this. This is not my strength. But at the same time, it is really important legislation that hopefully will get passed.
Great, great. Okay. Okay, another item is there's a special election on March the 2nd in our town. And again, it's to fill the seat that's left vacant by State Senator Leone, the 27th District. And The polls will open 6 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. for those areas where they're represented. But you can go to town hall and you can call town hall and you can pick up an absentee ballot, and you can either fill the absentee ballot out while you're in town hall if you're going to go there, or you can have them mail it to you and send it in. But again, I think this is really important. Senator Leone, I think, did a good job of representing us here in Darien. And so I would encourage folks to if you're impacted by it, to go ahead and vote. And it's easy enough to do. Again, you'll be able to do it face to face. You'll be able to do it by absentee ballot. Okay, so and that is on March the 2nd. At the Darien Library, good news from the library announced yesterday. The Darien Library is now opening on Sunday from 1 to 5. So again, they're moving ahead cautiously, but again, the library is having more and more access. We have started the tax relief program. Last weekend, the tax aid specialist did 25 people. And these are for folks that either don't have access to computers or are really not computer savvy. VITA has prepared an online program that's really easy to use. So again, we encourage folks to, and you can just go to the Darien Library, it says tax assistance, click on it and link right into it. But those folks that don't have, for example, the ability to scan documents can make an appointment and scan. But again, it's like going to the doctor's office. So you go to the parking lot, somebody will call you and then bring you in. Limited time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so nothing really complicated. But, just sitting there and coordinating that, again, there's such a need there. And the Darien Library has taken the initiative to provide the access. So again, I'd encourage folks, if you'd like to get your taxes done that way, to go to the Darien Library, try to do it online. It's not that hard. And then if you run into glitches and stuff, make an appointment and you can come in. It's on Fridays from 9 to 1 and from on Saturdays from 1 to 5. And there might be even a third day as we go down the road. So the need is there. Time capsule. Going to the book is now going to be closed in June the 1st. So again, those of you that haven't done it should do it. The schools have started their project work now on the time capsule. They've gotten the information. I understand, Joe, that the Centennial Commission is looking now at a date in October to do a major event. There'll be they're going to recreate the kidnapping of Mather, Reverend Mather. And so it's going to be a pretty big event. And it's probably going to be scheduled for early October. So the time capsule program is moving forward. Blight Commission again has met. You can't see it, but you can listen to it because we don't have a video. And that's moving forward. We've had some resolution on some properties, and some penalties are being assessed to those that have been recalcitrant in moving ahead with what's required. And so I'd say that is work is continuing. And I think that's it. If anybody has any questions.
One quick question for you, Peter. AARP, I know they're obviously very active with legislation. Anything else going on with AARP?
They're continuing their online programs, Joe, working with organizations like the library to make them available. They have not reopened their offices. They have not set dates yet for reopening of their chapters. So no, they're moving ahead. They decided not to become involved in the tax aid program this year because of their concern about liabilities. But I have to tell you, those same tax aid counselors that you saw at the Darien Library, the 7 to 8 of them, they're all working online. So when you go online to do your taxes, you're essentially going to be connected with one of those tax aid advisors that will walk you through the process and that will help you come to the proper conclusions as to what your taxes require.
Thank you. Any
And of course, we're very busy with the legislative issues. In fact, we have a meeting this evening at 5 o'clock, a Zoom meeting with Representative Blumenthal, Matt Blumenthal, to talk to him about our issues. And we will then have met with all three current incumbents, and we continue that dialogue.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Gina, any update on At Home and Darien?
Yeah, I would. Hi, everybody. I would just like to emphasize that if anybody needs a ride for vaccinations, that we are happy to arrange that. We work with with Allie in registering people for a time slot, and we make sure it works for everybody's schedule. So give us a call if you need a ride to get a vaccine in town, or if you have it scheduled out of town, we are doing that as well.
Fantastic. So helpful. I mean, so many seniors need to be able to get to town hall to be able to get their shots. That's extremely helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Any other old business? Looking around, seeing none. How about new business? Anybody have any new business this month? Seeing none, it looks like our TV 79 folks may have a very short program today. In any event, I thank you all for being here. Can I have a motion to adjourn the February meeting of the Commission on Aging?
Before you do that, Joe, it's Sharon Saltez. Who is caller number 2? Do we know?
Caller number 2.
I believe that's me, Gina. I'm in 2 spots.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Gina. I just didn't want to forget somebody. Thank you.
Gina has been cloned, so we got to find out how that works.
That's great stuff. Well, she's certainly making sure she's heard. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay, so now I will ask again, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So
Thank you. A second? Thanks very much. Appreciate seeing all of you. Thanks for all you're doing, especially Beth, Gina, and Peter, for all you're doing for all of our seniors. Thanks again. And I look forward to seeing you in March, if not before. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Joe.
Bye-bye.